Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, I didn't really cover this story when it broke 2 weeks ago, but I've been giving it a lot of thought now. As somebody who books my cruises well in advance, and I also book group cruises, right? So I'm trusting that when I book these cruises, unless there's something that comes up mechanical or catastrophic, that my cruise is going to go. And that the cruise line's just not going to go and say, you know what, we decided to sell your cabin to those people. So what am I talking about? Well, a couple weeks ago, Royal Caribbean sent out notices to all of their passengers who were going on the Allure of the Seas sailing on April 26th, 2024. Now, it was a 3-day cruise out of Port Canaveral, and they said, unfortunately, this cruise is now being canceled. So my first thoughts are, well, they must have to go in for repairs or something like that, an issue. But turns out what happened in actuality was a charter came in and said, hey, we would like to buy out that boat. We will charter that boat and give you a certain price for it. And they decided, hey, that's better than the money we're making so far from this sailing. And it's guaranteed money. We don't have to try and sell it anymore, so that's what we're going to do. So they canceled everybody else's cruise and gave it to this other charter. Now, coincidentally, there's another ship there, the Freedom of the Seas, also leaving on the 26th of April, also on a 3-day cruise out of Miami. That's the exact same day. And guess what? They had also canceled that cruise earlier and did it for a charter as well. Now, I'm all for all the cruise lines. Now, this just isn't Royal Caribbean. Other cruise lines do this as well. It's not unusual for them to do this. But usually you get, a year or so in advance to make other alternatives. And they'll offer different things like, first of all, you get all your money back. If you book shore excursions, etc., you get your money back. If you book flights through the cruise line, you get the money back. If you did your own flights and travel destination and planned it around another trip, all that money is still on you. That's up to you. And this cruise is sailing in 4 months. It's not that unusual to have said, I've booked my hotel and my stay, and I've also booked my airfare, etc., to travel to this destination. And not everybody gets cancellation insurance for your hotel and your airfare. Airfare is expensive enough. You get your cruise insurance and your health and your medical, but cancel for any reason? I mean, the cancellation is bad weather, stuff like that. The cruise line saying, sorry, we sold your cabin to somebody else. Is that a legitimate claim on insurance for an airline? I don't know. I don't know if the airlines would look at that and say, oh, yeah, that's covered. If the cruise line canceled, we'll reimburse you your airfare. I don't know if that's how it's going to work. I really don't, because I don't know if that's one of those reasons for cancellations that airlines have and hotels, etc., right? Many of them are very cooperative and you can rearrange your flights and stuff like that, especially if you have high status with those airlines. But it kind of annoys me that cruise lines are allowed to do this. That they can just cancel your booking that you've paid for and you've reserved and you've made your arrangements for, and they can just come along and say, sorry, we decided not, we're just going to, sell it to somebody else because we're going to make some more money. because we can't do that. We can't go to them and say, you know what, we decided we're not going to sail on that date and just give us all our money back. Now, if you have a refundable deposit, you're all set. But Royal Caribbean has two types of deposits, right? One that is fully refundable, which is more expensive than the non-refundable deposits. You can save some money with those non-refundable deposits. So a lot of people opt in for those non-refundable deposits, and you can't call in and just say, hey, we got offered a better deal on another cruise line, so we're canceling this, please give us our deposit back. But they can turn around to you and say, we got a better deal from these people to make more money, so we're not gonna sell you that cabin anymore. Like I said, I understand for mechanical issues and weather and emergency stuff and things that are going on in the world, I can see cruises being canceled for those kind of reasons, and that's perfectly acceptable, that's standard, that's the luck of the draw. But when you've booked your cruise and they just turn around and sell your cabin to somebody else, how is that allowed? How is that even a business practice, right? And I do this, but I shake my head. You know, I'm probably dreaming in a perfect world. I'm also, you know, because how many airlines will oversell flights? Because, well, we're expecting some cancellations, so we'll oversell it. And then people get there and they need to try and buy seats from people because they've oversold the plane. How is that allowed? How is that allowed? If you've sold every seat on the plane and you're going to get the money for the plane seat, how are you allowed to sell it again? Just the same as this cruise. Once you've booked, you know, you've made your schedule, how are you allowed to just cancel that cruise? It makes me wonder that if I go in and I was, you know, call somebody up at a cruise line and I say, you know what, I know that cabin that you sold there, that suite, for instance, on that ship that you sold for $100,000. Well, tell you what, I'll give you $200,000 for it. Will they now cancel that person in that cabin and give it to me because they're going to make double the money? Is it now about how much more I will give them for that cabin and not the fact that I actually made the booking and was the person in line for it? It's kind of one of those things that kind of frustrates me. I don't like when cruise lines cancel for those kind of reasons, for charters and things like that. At least not within a year. You know, if this was in 2025, okay, nobody's booked their airfare, nobody's paid for their hotel, no one's done any of that stuff, so you can change your cruise, your destination, your travel plans, you can make alternative arrangements. But 4 months down the road, a lot of this stuff has already been planned and already done, and now you're aiming at that vacation and they just come along and they say, sorry, they're going to give us some more money, so you're out of luck. I don't like that. And it's like I said, it's not, this just happens to be what happened recently with Royal Caribbean, but it's happened on other cruise lines as well. So I'm not blaming Royal Caribbean for this policy, I'm blaming the cruise lines for this policy. And I'm wondering at one point, does somebody launch a class action lawsuit and this ends up in court? I'm wondering at one point if that happens. Because think of how much money would be involved in an Oasis class ship. If this was, say, a 7-day cruise and they canceled half the people who were on the ship, how much money would that be? I think it's going to, at one point, that's what's going to happen. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you guys, you know, they still have 4 months. To me, 4 months is too soon. A year is fine. lots of planning, you haven't booked your airfare, you haven't done that. But 4 months, I don't care that the fact that it's a 3-day cruise. This could have been a 7-day cruise, a 10-day cruise, a 2-week cruise. This could have been a bigger trip. And they still could have done this because they were offered better money. So I'm wondering what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. And until next time, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.